The Tennessee Volunteers, they're coming off a 10-3 season that saw them reach the college football playoff, and Josh Heupel enters his fifth year in Knoxville with a 37-15 overall record. He's already delivered 2 top 10 finishes. He has completely flipped the program's trajectory from, the mediocrity that plagued it for over a decade. I mean, it was like 15 years that they were just terrible. Odds makers have the Vols looking okay, but a lot of that has to do with the schedule, right? The expectation is pretty clear. It should be a strong season this year. The makeup of the roster looks very different. We don't really know what we're going to get here. Obviously, biggest losses at quarterback. We talked all spring, all summer about Nico Iamaleava. I hope I said that right. Not that it matters. He's at UCLA now. So he transferred over to UCLA, tried to hold out a spring practice. They said, nah, that's not how we do things here. Their stance on that is going to last about one season. In his place, of course, they brought in Joey Aguilar. It looks like he's going to be the starter for this season, but don't be surprised if some of the young guys get to play this year as well. He was set to start at UCLA before Nico arrived. So he came over from App State. He's got a ton of experience, some pretty good mobility. Also has a tendency to throw picks, right? If he falters, the redshirt freshman, Jake Merklinger, he's waiting in the wings. They also lost their star running back, Dylan Sampson, who was basically the entire offense last year. He's off to the NFL. But you got sophomores Peyton Lewis and DeSean Bishop that are expected to keep the ground game pretty strong. Heupel's offense is always going to be able to run the ball, period. At receiver, spotlight falls on the 5-star sophomore Mike Matthews and the redshirt freshman Braylon Staley. And then, of course, you've got veteran Chris Brazel II, who returns as the most proven pass catcher. The offensive line is in transition. They've only got Lance Hurd back, but 5-star freshman David Sanders is expected to start right away. And then you got some transfers in. Sam Pendleton from Notre Dame, Wendell Moe Jr. from Arizona. Both of those should fit in kind of seamlessly. Your offensive coordinator, Joey Housel, he's going to need to lean on the run game early, which is a Heupel thing. But the young receiving group has got to gel. The young offensive line has got to gel. Defensively, Tennessee should be pretty elite again under the coordinator Tim Banks. He's done a really good job in Knoxville. The Vols return leaders like defensive end Joshua Josephs, tackle Bryson Eason, and then the linebacker Arion Carter. He paced the team with 68 tackles last year. Secondary could be a strength as long as, the star corner Jermod McCoy recovers fully from his ACL injury. And then joining him, of course, Ricky Gibson III and the safety Boo Carter. And, there's been some issues with Boo Carter. Not for us to discuss necessarily on a team preview, but I think he's going to play. Kid's talented. The main challenge is going to be replacing the pass rushing terror, James Pierce, who's in the NFL. What a weird situation that was, because it seemed like he was going to go early and then he drops, and who knows. But there is depth across the front seven. You got 12 players who log significant snaps back. Tennessee's defense looks poised to carry the team while the offense kind of finds its identity. The keys to the season are pretty simple. Whoever plays quarterback, Aguilar, Merklinger, whoever, they got to protect the football. Don't give it to the other team and keep giving them opportunities to score. The offensive line has got to hold up, and the defense needs to stay healthy. The schedule sets up nicely for a fast start. You start with games against East Tennessee State, Syracuse. You do have a massive game in week 4. I didn't list them down. Against Georgia game is early, right? But it's in Neyland. Road trips to Florida, Alabama, and Kentucky those are going to be season defining. But they avoid LSU, they avoid Ole Miss, they avoid Texas. If the offense grows up quickly, they could absolutely find themselves in the SEC race come November. If not, you're probably looking at, maybe it's 7-5, maybe that's the floor here. I think 8-4 is probably more realistic. 10-2 with another CFP push is the ceiling here, I think. The win total sits at 8.5. Odds are plus 114 to go to the over. That's an implied probability of 46.73%, so you're pretty close to a coin flip between 8 and 9 wins. Odds to win the SEC are plus 3,300. That's less than 3%. The odds to make the college football playoff this season, plus 310. So almost 25%. There's a lot of losses here, and somewhat of a downgrade at quarterback, even if the stats wouldn't necessarily tell you that. Even still, the talent level, the schedule have this thing set up for a potential big year, even if the team isn't that good. I think there's going to be a drop. I've got them at 8-4 this year. We'll see what the schedule looks like in 2026, because it's certainly going to change. It's not going to be as easy. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. They've still got Georgia on the schedule this year. They've still got Alabama. They've got Florida. They've got Oklahoma. There's still spots where they can lose games, but this is one of the more manageable schedules out there. Thanks for listening to Winning Cures Everything. Make sure and follow me on Twitter @GaryWCE. If you want to toss in a question, you can email me, Gary@winningcureseverything.com. Make sure and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.